awareness, ability to hear sounds and to make up words in spoken language rhyme, beginning and ending sounds, manipulating sounds into new words, separating words into individual sounds. Phoneme. Onsets. Rhyme. English Language Development Standard 1 WIDA. English Language Development Standard 2 WIDA. English Language Development Standard 3 WIDA. English Language Development Standard 4 WIDA. English Language Development Standard 5. English language learners communicate information, ideas and concepts necessary for academic success in the content area of social studies. Teaching reading to ALS, letter-sound correspondences, decoding strategies, repetition, language activities, small group instruction, story time, word study. Syllabication patterns. Open syllable ends with a vowel. Closed syllable ends with a consonant. Fluency, ability to read easily and well. Prosody, the patterns of stress and intonation in a language. Cause-effect, informational text. Problem solution, informational text. Measure text complexity. Text leveling systems, grade level equivalent, guided reading level, Excel framework, developmental reading assessment, interest level, grade level, reading recovery. Developmental stages of writing, scribbling, letter-like symbols, strings of letters, beginning sounds emerge, consonants represent words, initial, middle, and final sounds, transitional phases, standard spelling. Steps in research process. Step 1. Identify and develop your topic. Step 2. Find background information. Step 3. Use catalogs to find books and media. Step 4. Use databases to find journal articles. Step 5. Find internet resources. Step 6. Evaluate what you find. Step 7. Cite what you find using a standard format. Primary source, personal account. Secondary source, analysis and interpretations of personal accounts. 3 tiers of vocabulary. 1. Basic vocabulary. 2. High frequency / multiple meaning. 3. Low frequency / context specific. Decimals. Your license has expired or you do not have a valid license verification file. Please contact our sales support team for more information. Rational numbers. Algorithm, step-by-step solution. It is like a cooking recipe for mathematics. Example, one algorithm for adding 2-digit numbers is add the units, add the tens and combine the answers. Long division is another example of an algorithm. When you follow the steps you get the answer. Order of operations. P parentheses first E exponents MD multiplication and division AS addition and subtraction. Commutative property. This rule just says that when you are doing addition, it doesn't matter which order the numbers are in. You can add A and B or you can add B and A, and you'll get the same answer. Associative property. Remember that you always do what's in the parentheses first. This rule just says that when you are doing addition, it doesn't matter which numbers you add first. You can add the A and B first or you can add the B and C first and you'll get the same answer. Distributive property. Prime number, a natural number greater than 1 that has no positive divisors other than 1 and itself. Composite number, when a number can be divided up evenly. Factor, what we can multiply to get the number. Multiple, what we get after multiplying the number by an integer. Algebraic expression versus algebraic equation. The primary difference between the two is an equal sign. An equation has a left side, a right side and an equal sign separating the sides. An expression, by contrast, doesn't have any sides and is simply what the name suggests, an algebraic expression. Binomial. A binomial is a polynomial with 2 terms. Divisor, the number you divide by dividend divided by divisor equals quotient. Example, in 12 divided by 3 equals 4. 3 is the divisor. Dividend, the amount that you want to divide up. Dividend divided by divisor equals quotient. Example, in 12 divided by 3 equals 4. 12 is the dividend. Quotient. The answer after you divide one number by another. Dividend divided by divisor equals quotient. Example, in 12 divided by 3 equals 4. 4 is the quotient. Dependent variable. The output value of a function in y equals x2. X is an independent variable. Y is a dependent variable. Independent variable. An input value of a function in y equals x2. X is an independent variable. Y is a dependent variable. Linear equation. An equation that makes a straight line when it is graphed, often written in the form y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals how far up x equals how far long. M equals slope or gradient. B equals the y-intercept. How to find m and b in y equals mx plus b. B is easy, just see where the line crosses the y-axis. M needs some calculation. M equals change in y, change in x. Sometimes the words rise and run are used. Rise is how far up, run is how far along, and so the slope m is m equals rise run. Linear inequality. Line, a long thin mark made by a pen, pencil, etc. In geometry, a line is straight, has no thickness, and extends in both directions without end. Line segment, if a line does have ends. Ray, a line with a start point but no end point. Parallel lines, two lines on a plane that never meet, they are always the same distance apart. Perpendicular lines, lines that are at right angles to each other. Acute angle, an angle that is less than 90 degrees. Right angle, an angle that is 90 degrees exactly. Obtuse angle, an angle that is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. Straight angle, an angle that is 180 degrees exactly. Reflex angle, an angle that is greater than 180 degrees. Quadrilateral, 4 sides. Rhombus, a flat shape with 4 equal straight sides. Parallelogram, a flat shape with opposite sides parallel and equal in length. Trapezoid, a 4-sided flat shape with straight sides that has a pair of opposite sides parallel. Kite, a flat shape with straight sides. It has 2 pairs of equal adjacent sides. Perimeter, the distance around a 2-dimensional shape at the sides together. Area, the size of a surface WXH. Sphere, it is perfectly symmetrical. All points on the surface are the same distance from the center. It has no edges or vertices. It is not a polyhedron. Surface area equals 4xx r2. Volume equals xx r3. Torus, it can be made by revolving a small circle along a line made by a bigger circle. It has no edges or vertices. It is not a polyhedron. Looks like a donut. Surface area equals 4x2x rx r. Volume equals 2x2x rx r2. Cylinder, T has a flat base and a flat top. The base is the same as the top, and also in between it has one curved side. It is not a polyhedron as it has a curved surface. Surface area equals 2xx rx. Volume equals x r2xh. Cone, it has a flat base. It has one curved side. It is not a polyhedron as it has a curved surface. Surface area equals x rx. Volume equals 13x r2xh. Cube, it has 6 faces. Each face has 4 edges. It has 12 edges. It has 8 vertices, and at each vertex 3 edges meet. It is one of the Platonic solids. Surface area equals 6x2. Volume equals 3. Cuboid, a box-shaped object. It has 6 flat faces and all angles are right angles, and all of its faces are rectangles. It is also a prism because it has the same cross-section along a length. In fact, it is a rectangular prism. Looks like a box. A equals 2WL plus 2LH plus 2HWV equals LWH. Triangular pyramid. It has 4 faces. The 3 side faces are triangles. The base is also a triangle. It has 4 vertices. It has 6 edges. It is also a tetrahedron. Surface area equals base area plus 12x. Perimeter x. Side length. Volume equals 13x. Base area x. Height. Square pyramid. It has 5 faces. The 4 side faces are triangles. The base is a square. It has 5 vertices. It has 8 edges. Surface area equals base area plus 12x. Perimeter x. Side length. Volume equals 13x. Base area x. Height. Prism, a solid object with identical ends, flat faces and the same cross-section all along its length. A polyhedron, which means all faces are flat. Surface area equals 2x base area plus base perimeter x length. Volume equals area x length equals 25 meters. 2x 12 meters equals 300 m3. Triangle area equals 1/2 bh. Area of a rectangle or parallelogram A equals bh. Area of trapezoid A equals 1/2 h. Area of a rhombus A equals bh or A equals 1/2 diagonal 1x diagonal 2. Area of a circle. Area of a regular polygon. X and Y axis, X to the left and Y to the sky. Origin, the starting point. On a number line it is 0. On a two-dimensional graph it is where the x-axis and y-axis cross, marked on the graph here. 4 quadrants in the coordinate plane. Any of the 4 areas made when we divide up a plane by an x and y axis. They are usually numbered I, 3 and 4. Volume, the amount of three-dimensional space an object occupies. Capacity, metric, cubic centimeters, cubic meters, liters US standard, fluid ounce, cubic inch, cubic foot, pints, gallons. Volume equals length x width x height. Mass, commonly measured by how much something weighs, but weight can change depending on where you are, while the mass stays the same, measured in grams, kilograms and tons, or ounces and pounds. 1 mile, 5,280 feet. 1 mile, 1,760 yards. 1 gallon, 16 fluid ounce. 1 quart, 2 pint. 1 gallon, 8 pint. 1 gallon, 4 quart. Length, meter. Volume, liter. Mass/weight, gram. Temperature, Celsius. 1000, kilo. 1000, milli. 100, centi. 10, deci. 10 millimeters, 1 centimeter. 10 centimeters, 1 decimeter. 100 centimeters, 1 meter. 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer. Millimeters to centimeters, divide by 10. Centimeters to millimeters, multiply by 10. Meters to centimeters, multiply by 100. Centimeters to meters, divide by 100. Millimeters to meters, divide by 1000. Mean. The mean is the average of the numbers, a calculated central value of a set of numbers. To calculate, just add up all the numbers, then divide by how many numbers there are. Median, the middle number. Place the numbers you are given in value order and find the middle number. 13, 23, 11, 16, 15, 10, 26. Put them in order. 10, 11, 13, 15, 16, 23, 26. The middle number is 15, so the x is 15. Mode, the number which appears most often in a set of numbers. Example, in 6, 3, 9, 6, 6, 5, 9, 3 the x is 6. Range, the difference between the lowest and highest values. In 4, 6, 9, 3, 7 the lowest value is 3 and the highest is 9, so the is 9 3 equals 6 can also mean all the output values of a function. Probability. Probability of an event happening equals number of ways it can happen divided by total number of outcomes. Outlier. An individual observation that falls outside the overall pattern of the graph. Overall pattern. 1. Give the center and spread. 2. See if the distribution has a simple shape that you can describe in a few words. Box plots. Histogram. It is similar to a bar chart but groups numbers into ranges and you decide what ranges to use. Scatter plot. A scatter plot has points that show the relationship between two sets of data. Circle graph. A special chart that uses pie slices to show relative sizes of data. Bar graph. A graph drawn using rectangular bars to show how large each value is, can be horizontal or vertical. Cardinal direction N, S, E, W. Intermediate direction Ni, S, W, Say, N, W. North America, South America, Antarctica, Africa, Australia, Asia, Europe. Egyptian inventions: glass, linen, paper and ink, the calendar, the clock, geometry and the alphabet, the refinement of dress and ornament, furniture and dwelling, society and life. Egyptian government: first United Nation, first centralized government, census and post-primary and secondary education, technical training, office and administration, the advancement of writing and literature, science and medicine. Egyptian public contents: the first cry for social justice, the first widespread monogamy, the first monotheism, the first essays in moral philosophy, the elevation of architecture, sculpture and the minor arts. Ancient Greek contributions. Major contributions of ancient Rome: aqueducts, concrete, newspapers, welfare-bound books, roads and highways, Roman arches, Julian calendar, innocent until proven guilty, basis of all justice systems, Roman law, battlefield, surgery, Latin language alphabet. Causes of WWI: mutual defense alliances, imperialism, nationalism in Europe and breakup of Bosnia-Herzegovina, assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary, main militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism. Causes of WWII: German Depression, World Economic Depression, dictators in Germany, Italy and Japan, Axis versus Allies, Axis powers expanding. Causes of Cold War. Demand: how much of a product or service is desired by buyers. Supply: the total quantity of a product or service that the marketplace can offer. Equilibrium price: suppliers are selling all the goods that they have produced and consumers are getting all the goods that they are demanding. Law of demand: if all other factors remain constant, if a good's price is higher, fewer people will demand it. As the price of that good goes down, the quantity of that good that the market will demand will increase. Law of supply: as the price rises for a given product service, suppliers are willing to supply more. Scarcity: people want more than is available. Limits us both as individuals and as a society. Limited resources fix a maximum on the amount of goods and services that can be produced. Choice: people must choose which of their desires they will satisfy and which they will leave unsatisfied. Opportunity cost: the benefits you could have received by taking an alternative action. Direct services: one way the federal government regulates the economy, military, postal service, not things that are paid for by the state. Regulation: one way the federal government regulates the economy, necessary in places where there is a monopoly or limited competition, FDA. Stabilization and growth: one way the federal government regulates the economy, adjusts tax rates, money supply and use of credit. Direct assistance: one way the federal government regulates the economy, welfare, help for poor and disabled, social insurance. Crust: the outer shell of the earth, very thin. Mantle: the second layer of the earth, goes about halfway to the center. Outer core: the liquid part of the earth, liquid iron and nickel. Middle core: the solid part in the center, extremely hot. Igneous rocks: magma, molten rock, rises upward toward the surface and are classified into two types on the basis of texture and composition. Metamorphic rock: form when changes in the composition and or texture of a rock occur as a result of increasing pressure or temperature but stop short of melting minerals. Sedimentary rock: the most common rocks on the Earth's surface are readily identified by the presence of layers. Minerals: divided into their constituent elements. The mineral quartz is composed of two elements, silicon and oxygen. Other minerals may contain many elements. For example, the mineral amphibole is made up of a laundry list of elements including sodium, calcium, magnesium, iron, aluminum, silicon, and oxygen. Elements cannot be further divided into other materials, but they can be separated into individual atoms. Atlantic Ocean. Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Arctic Ocean. Troposphere, where all weather takes place. It is a region of rising and falling packets of air. Stratospheric airflow is mostly horizontal. Thin ozone layer in the upper stratosphere has a high concentration of ozone, a particularly reactive form of oxygen. Ionosphere. Climate zone, belt-shaped and circular around the poles. In some areas, climate zones can be interrupted by mountains or oceans. Tropical zone. Subtropics. Temperate zone. Cold zone. Gibbous moon, between a full moon and a half moon or between a half moon and a full moon. Half moon or quarter moon, looks like half a circle. New moon. The moon is not visible from Earth because the side of the moon that is facing us is not being lit by the sun. Cause of seasons. The tilt of the Earth's rotational axis away or toward the sun as it travels through its year-long path around the sun. The Earth has a tilt of 23.5 degrees relative to the ecliptic plane. Tide. The rise and fall of sea levels caused by the combined effects of gravitational forces exerted by the moon, sun, and rotation of the Earth. Inner planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars made up mostly of iron and rock. Earth has one moon, Mars has two moons. Outer planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Thick outer layers of gas. Most of mass is hydrogen and helium. Pluto, considered a dwarf planet. Asteroids. Small, airless rocky worlds revolving around the sun that are too small to be called planets. They are also known as planetoids or minor planets. Most are between Mars and Jupiter. Comet, an icy body that releases gas or dust. They are often compared to dirty snowballs, though recent research has led some scientists to call them snowy dirt balls. Comets contain dust, ice, carbon dioxide, ammonia, methane and more. Cell wall. Plant, not animal. Outer layer rigid, strong, stiff, made of cellulose. Support protection allows H2O, O2, CO2 to pass into and out of cell. Cell membrane, both plant to animal. Plant, inside cell wall. Animal, outer layer. Cholesterol, selectively permeable. Support protection controls movement of materials in and out of cell. Barrier between cell and its environment maintains homeostasis. Nucleus, both plant to animal. Large oval, controls cell activities. Nuclear membrane, both plant to animal. Surrounds nucleus. Selectively permeable, controls movement of materials in and out of nucleus. Cytoplasm, both plant to animal. Clear, thick, jelly-like material and organelles found inside cell membrane. Support/protect cell organelles. Endoplasmic reticulum, both plant to animal. Network of tubes or membranes carries materials through cell. Ribosome, both plant animal. Small bodies free or attached to ER, produces proteins. Mitochondrion, both plant to animal. Bean shaped with inner membranes, breaks down sugar molecules into energy. Vacuole, plant, few. Large animal. Small fluid-filled sacs store food, water, waste. Lysosome, plant, uncommon. Animal, common. Small, round, with a membrane, breaks down larger food molecules into smaller molecules, digests old cell parts. Chloroplast, plant, not animal. Green, oval, usually containing chlorophyll, uses energy from sun to make food for the plant. Cell division, the distribution of identical genetic material, DNA, to two daughter cells. What is most remarkable is the fidelity with which the DNA is passed along, without dilution or error, from one generation to the next. Mitosis, the process by which new cells are generated. Meiosis, the process by which gametes are generated for reproduction. Photosynthesis, process used by plants and other organisms to convert light energy, normally from the sun, into chemical energy that can be later released to fuel the organism's activities. DNA, polymer, monomer units are nucleotides, and the polymer is known as a polynucleotide. Each nucleotide consists of a 5-carbon sugar, a nitrogen-containing base attached to the sugar, and a phosphate group. Nucleotides in DNA. A is for adenine, G is for guanine, C is for cytosine, T is for thymine. Cystic fibrosis. Huntington's disease. Down syndrome. Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Sickle cell anemia. Celiac disease. Becker muscular dystrophy. Noonan syndrome. Taxonomy, when scientists put organisms into groups when they have things in common. Kingdoms: animal kingdom, plant kingdom, fungi kingdom, protist kingdom, modern kingdom. Classifications: kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Phylum: vertebrate versus invertebrate, flowering versus non-flowering. Class: mammals, reptile, amphibian. Plant structure: root system, a stem or trunk, branches, leaves, and reproductive structures. Most plants are vascular, which means they have a system of tubules inside them that carry nutrients around the plant. Vascular plants are differentiated from plants such as algae, which do not have a vascular system. Plant tissues. Asexual reproduction: one cell can split into two, giving you two identical cells. Sexual reproduction: two cells, each with half of the DNA needed, combine and create a living cell. Respiratory system: red blood cells pick up oxygen from lungs and take to cells. Red blood cells pick up carbon dioxide from cells and take to lungs. Nose, sinuses, trachea, bronchi, lung, cilia, alveoli, pulmonary capillaries, blood, heart, body. Excretory system. Digestive system. Visceral muscle. Cardiac muscle, found only in the heart. Cardiac muscle is responsible for pumping blood throughout the body. Cardiac muscle tissue cannot be controlled consciously, so it is an involuntary muscle. Skeletal muscle. Immune system. Nervous system, complex collection of nerves and specialized cells known as neurons that transmit signals between different parts of the body. It is essentially the body's electrical wiring. Central nervous system, brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Peripheral consists of sensory neurons, ganglia, and nerves that connect to one another and to the central nervous system. Endocrine system. Solid molecules are packed together and it keeps its shape. Liquid, take the shape of the container. Gas, spread out to fill the container. Element, a substance consisting of atoms which all have the same number of protons, that is the same atomic number, chemically the simplest substances, and hence cannot be broken down using chemical methods, can only be changed into other elements using nuclear methods. Atom, the defining structure of an element which cannot be broken by any chemical means, consists of a nucleus of protons and neutrons with electrons orbiting this nucleus. Compounds, a substance formed when two or more chemical elements are chemically bonded together. Two types are covalent bonds and ionic bonds. Molecule, two or more atoms which have chemically combined to form a single species. Mixture, two or more substances are combined, but they are not combined chemically. General properties, the components can be easily separated. The components each keep their original properties. The proportion of the components is variable. Atomic model, electrons are in constant motion around the nucleus. Protons and neutrons jiggle within the nucleus, and quarks jiggle within the protons and neutrons. Atomic mass. Atomic number, the number of protons and therefore also the total positive charge in the atomic nucleus. Energy, the ability to cause change or do work. Forms, light, heat, chemical, nuclear, electrical and mechanical types, potential and kinetic. Potential is stored while kinetic is in use. Convection, the movement caused within a fluid by the tendency of hotter and therefore less dense material to rise and colder, denser material to sink under the influence of gravity, which consequently results in transfer of heat. Conduction. Radiation, the emission of energy as electromagnetic waves or as moving subatomic particles, especially high-energy particles that cause ionization. Covalent bond involves the sharing of electron pairs between atoms. These electron pairs are known as share pairs or bonding pairs, and the stable balance of attractive and repulsive forces between atoms when they share electrons. Ionic bond, electrostatic force of attraction between two oppositely charged ions. The positive ion is called cation and the negative ion is the anion. It is like the north and south poles of a magnet. Acid. Base. Neutralization is a type of chemical reaction in which a strong acid and strong base react with each other to form water and salt. Oxidation, gain of oxygen. Combustion, any process in which a substance combines with oxygen to produce heat and light. Speed, a scalar quantity that refers to how fast an object is moving, can be thought of as the rate at which an object covers distance equals distance time. Velocity, a vector quantity that refers to the rate at which an object changes its position direction, where equals position time equals displacement time. Acceleration, a vector quantity that is defined as the rate at which an object changes its velocity. An object is, if it is changing its velocity, equals change velocity time. Collision, the meeting of particles or of bodies in which each exerts a force upon the other, causing the exchange of energy or momentum. Pendulum, a mass or bob connected to a rod or rope that experiences simple harmonic motion as it swings back and forth without friction. The equilibrium position of the is the position when the mass is hanging directly downward. Friction refers to any force that resists relative tangential motion. Mass, a measure of how much matter an object has. Weight, a measure of how strongly gravity pulls on that matter. Gravity effect on mass and weight. Weight can change if you leave the Earth. Mass cannot change. Sink or float. Density relation. More dense things will sink, less will float. Electrostatic attraction repulsion. Opposite charges attract, like charges repel. Electricity/electron flow. Pitch, the quality of a sound governed by the rate of vibrations producing it, the degree of highness or lowness of a tone. Loudness, characteristic of a sound that is primarily a psychological correlate of physical strength. Doppler effect, the effect produced by a moving source of waves in which there is an apparent upward shift in frequency for observers towards whom the source is approaching and an apparent downward shift in frequency for observers from whom the source is receding. Fossil fuel, a natural fuel such as coal or gas, formed in the geological past from the remains of living organisms. Nuclear energy pros. Fossil fuels pros. Fossil fuel cons. Nuclear energy cons. Hydrologic energy pros. Hydrologic energy cons. Wind energy pros. Wind energy cons. Solar energy pros. Renewable, abundant, sustainable, environmentally friendly, good availability, reduces electricity costs. Many applications shared solar. Silent financial support from government. State low maintenance. Technology is improving. Solar energy cons. Expensive. Intermittent energy storage is expensive, associated with pollution. Exotic materials, requires space. Biomass energy. Biomass energy pros. Biomass energy cons. Geothermal pros. Geothermal cons. Newton's law. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Marie Curie. Gregor Mendel.